After much disagreement on last week's Muppet of the Week, I decided to ask iRacing themselves for their input, and I believe that their response is going to annoy some people. Some viewers believe that this was dirty on my behalf. Me and a few others genuinely believe that he tried to slam me into the central barrier. But what everybody did agree on is that his response was out of order. What about that for some self-promo? Now, if we look at this, it's safe to say that here, Edward is actually taking a very tight line. Some would say he's aiming for the central barrier. And looking at his steering inputs, it's safe to say he's turning further in. That there is where you'd normally turn in. If I wasn't on his right, taking the line that Edward's taking, it's safe to say he'd be hitting the barrier. So in my and a few others' opinions, this was an intentional attempt of wrecking me. And according to the other guys, I'm not saying they're wrong. My attempt here was uncalled for. Here is iRacing's acknowledgement to the protest that I made for Edward wrecking me intentionally at the end of the race. Basically stating that Edward had been dealt with, but how he had been dealt with will be kept confidential. That part iRacing never actually reveals even if you ask them. But usually an intentional wreck at the end of the race results in a week's ban. Usually. And because there was much disagreement, I decided to respond. I appreciate it, thank you. Could I ask for your opinion, please, on the first part where I go on the inside in the hairpin because I'm in a debate at the moment with someone? Was I wrong to do so because I'm being told it was an illegal move? Thanks. And iRacing then responded, thank you for your response. We believe the initial portion of the incident to simply just be hard racing. Good luck on track. This is the part that's going to annoy some people. It doesn't say that it was wrong, and it doesn't say that it was right. It just says an incident to hard racing. So what does it mean? It means that this kind of rough play is accepted, which in turn means that probably 95% of protests made on iRacing are probably laughed at and thrown out. Which I don't really disagree with. Because in all fairness, whether he tried to slam me in the wall or not, all I had to do was brake to avoid the wall. So is it really his fault? I took the risk and it paid off, but it was obvious that my intention wasn't to wreck him, it was just to gain a position, which is why iRacing probably just put it down to hard racing. And again, not even blamed him because I could have just braked to avoid the wall anyway. All in all, it's probably safe to say that Edward got banned for the ending, but for the first part, that hard racing, definitely got away with, and it just speaks volumes about how strict iRacing actually is. They're fair game when it comes to hard racing. They're fair game if you are in an incident what you could have avoided. There's no point sending in a protest. So in iRacing's view, my initial attempt was fair game. Him trying to crash me into the central barrier was fair game. But to intentionally do something that the other guy cannot avoid, something that nowadays can actually cause injury, iRacing has an issue with. Thanks for watching, and I really hope that you're enjoying the weekly series, Muppet of the Week.